Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. Today I want to talk about what you should do if your ex is dating someone new. Just realized that rhymes. Okay, so there's one thing that you need to distinguish between. Did they start dating them after the breakup or before they broke up with you? Because if it's after, that means it's a rebound, and that works in your favor because usually rebounds do not work out. If they started dating them before you, it means that they probably broke up with you because they found someone else. That's a little more difficult. However, in any case, the situation is not as bad or as hopeless as you might think for many reasons. So let me go through them. The first one is if you had a great connection with your ex and then things just happened, there were issues, etc., but as long as you had that great connection and compatibility, that's hard to find. So just because he's dating or she is dating someone else, it doesn't mean they have that great connection and that great compatibility. So you have that on your side. Secondly, there's your shared history. Unless, of course, you only dated for a few months, then that's a little more difficult. But if you've been together 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, etc., you have all that history behind you. It wasn't all bad. You have a lot of good memories, inside jokes, etc., and so those are going to come up in their mind from time to time. Things are going to remind them of you and of the memories that you shared together. So that works in your favor because if he's dating someone new, they don't have any memories together yet. The third reason is that if your ex cheated on you with this person, so this person knew that you existed and yet still chose to go out with them, that says something about their character. And it doesn't say anything good about their character. Therefore, you know already that this person is flawed. The fact that they would be willing to date someone who was already in a relationship. Again, if they knew that your ex was in a relationship with you, because sometimes people, of course, lie and say, no, I'm free, but they're not. So if they knew that he or she was already seeing someone else and yet they still chose to see them on the side, then it says that they're willing to be a side piece, that they're willing to be with someone who's cheating. And usually that speaks to low self-esteem and lack of confidence and a scarcity mentality, which means that all those traits will then come back to bite them in the butt during the relationship. The next reason you don't have to worry about them dating someone new is actually very important, and that is interest level. Just because they're dating someone else, it doesn't mean that their interest in them is as high as it was with you before you guys started having problems and then breaking up. So your ex may have had an interest level in you that was, let's say, in the 80s, but this new person, they're dating them, and maybe it's only in the 60s. You're going to have a different interest level for everyone that you date. It's not the same for everyone. And so if it's lower than it was with you, then they're going to notice it because they're going to think, gee, something's missing. I mean, I was really interested in you, the ex. This new one, I don't know. But they have enough interest to date them, but it doesn't feel the same because the interest level isn't there. Obviously, their interest level in you right now is below 50, or they wouldn't have broken up with you. So your job is to get their interest level up above 50 so that they will want to come back with you, and then you can increasingly raise their interest level. And of course, the way to do that is to leave them alone. I know it's counterintuitive, but if they're seeing someone new, they are focused on that person, and you want to leave them alone so that they don't have you to lean on, to fall back on if it doesn't work out. It's always important to do no contact, but it's especially important to do it if they're seeing someone else, because otherwise they know you're waiting in the wings and they're going to take their time. But if they think you might be moving on and they're not as interested in the new person as they originally were in you, then they're going to think twice about continuing to see the new person. So don't give them a reason to continue to see the new person by contacting them and letting them know that you're waiting for them whenever you're ready to come back. And finally, the last reason is simply because most people don't know what they're doing when it comes to dating. And so the new person, unless they've done some work on themselves and they've studied, if they've listened to me, they're going to screw up at some point. And so you just need to sit back and wait. And more often than not, the new person will screw up, or your ex will screw up with the new person and it's going to be over. So I know it's difficult and you're so worried that they will never come back because they're seeing someone else. But don't worry. That's not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is sticking to no contact. All right? So if you'd like more help with this, or you're interested in private coaching, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you for subscribing. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.